Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Kyle. I talk about cameras, photography, and all that good stuff. So today is an exciting day. It's July 27th. As of filming this video, Sony has officially announced their new APS-C camera. Is it a Sony a7000? No. You've obviously read the title at this point and probably seen a bunch of YouTubers' embargo get lifted, so they've posted their own reviews, and that is the Sony ZV-E10. I apologize if I say the title of the name of this camera wrong in the future. ZV, EV, it gets confusing sometimes, but that's the Sony world that we all just live in. So, the ZV-E10 is a vlogging centered camera. Now I say that with a tinge of sadness because I myself am a photographer first, then YouTuber slash video person second. So, you know, that's what this camera is geared towards, vlogging. Sony has made that very clear in their marketing material and the video that they put out announcing said camera. So that's what it is. So who is this camera for then? This camera is for somebody who maybe didn't get the ZV-1, which is the 1-inch sensor vlogging camera that they put out in 2020. This camera is also maybe for somebody who doesn't have a Sony APS-C camera or doesn't have a camera yet, I guess, and is looking for a smaller camera with a flip out screen, kind of more modern features, easy usability, and doesn't break the bank at the same time. So that is technically a lot of people out there, but its primary focus is more towards the video side rather than photography side. So who is it not for? Like I was alluding to, it's not really for photographers first, and here's why. The main reason is that there is no viewfinder on this camera. So it's a bright and sunny day, you can't go into the viewfinder and block out the sun and have a clearer view of what you're actually looking at. You're just going to be taking photos from the back screen. Some people don't mind this. I myself really prefer a viewfinder. I highly recommend people who are getting into photography, not so much video, and really even video as well, to have a viewfinder. It is a great tool, especially now with EVFs and everything like that. Viewfinder is perfect for photography. Just going off the screen is a little bit of a disadvantage in my opinion, and the ZV-E10 does not have that. Also, a smaller deal is there is no mode dial on the ZV-E10, so like the Sony a6000, 6100, all the other Sony cameras, there is a mode dial where you can go from manual mode to aperture priority mode to an auto mode, shutter priority mode, whatever you want to do. There is not that on this camera. There are other buttons that are on this camera that are not on, say, the Sony a6100, but we'll get into that in a little bit. Oh, also, just the price of this camera, it is $698 US without the kit lens. If you want the kit lens with it, so you don't have to get a different one, it's $798. So pretty much $800 for it with the kit lens, $700 without it. I highly recommend you get the kit lens just because it's a great starting lens, especially if this is your first camera or something like that. So you're looking at about $800. I will go into detail later on, going over the different offerings Sony has and their current price points, because I think it's worth doing a little overview, but stay tuned to the end of the video for that. Okay, so let's talk about the selling points for this camera. The main thing is it's an APS-C vlogging camera. So unlike the ZV-1, which was just a 1-inch sensor with a fixed lens, this is an APS-C camera with a bigger sensor, and you can change lenses on this camera. So that basically means any Sony E-mount lens you could throw on it. If you wanted to throw a 70 to 200 f2.8 G Master lens, you could if you wanted to. That would look quite odd, but you could do some awesome sports photography or something with that. Or you could use, say, like the Sony 10 to 18 wide-angle lens f4 and go vlogging with that, and you would have a really wide angle at 10 millimeters APS-C, and you know, you would be off to the races vlogging in style, rather than the ZV-1, which in my opinion was a little too tight for vlogging. You would have to extend your arm fully, have a little bit of a tripod or something to extend it even more. this is a lot better suited, in my opinion, for vlogging, and with interchangeable lenses, just the possibilities are endless with the different lenses you can put on there. Sigma lenses, viltrox, I mean, the list goes on. So that's definitely the biggest thing. Then some of the other big things are it has a flip out LCD rather than a flip up like the 61, 64, and 6600. So it's going with that ZV style. I myself prefer the flip up, but then you have to get a bracket to kind of move things around. So I understand going with the flip out style for a vlogging centered camera. And this camera also has a different button layout than the normal Sony APS-C cameras. And it's like the Sony ZV-E10 in that it has a big fat record button for vloggers, nice and easy to hit. And then it also has a product focus button, you know, for people showing off products. And then it has a blurry background or bokeh button, which is great for people who don't necessarily understand camera settings and things like that, or diving into the menus. So these buttons are geared for ease of use and great for beginners. There's also a slow-mo button, and then some other things I have written down is that there's a better internal mic on this camera. It has a windscreen on it, which is nice, I think. Some other things I've written down, there's a tally light on the front so you can actually see a blinking light when you're recording. That is very valuable when you're out vlogging. There's USB 3.2 Gen 1 versus USB 2.0, so I don't know if that's gonna have any improvements with, say, live streaming or something like that, which they are definitely marketing this camera as something to use for your live stream. And then last but not least in my notes here is that there is 4K 24p no crop. So other cameras like the Canon M50 and Mark II, their 4K is very unusable and has a harsh crop. The crop only goes into effect 4K at 30p on the Sony ZV-E10. So I think that is a great selling point for this camera. If you want to vlog in 4K, dare I say it, this is probably the best camera for vlogging in 4K. And that's pretty cool. I think Sony should definitely kind of hammer that home. That's something Canon has severely been lacking in, is 4K support on their smaller cameras and having the autofocus work and things like that, and crop. So kudos to Sony for bringing 4K 24p no crop to the Sony ZV-E10. All right, so let's talk pricing of the different Sony, I was gonna say APS-C, but they're not all APS-C, the different Sony cameras that are out there right now. So we have the Sony ZV-E10 at $698 with no lens. And then, like I recommend, I would say just get the kit lens. It's $798 all in, so 800 bucks. Top selling points are 4K vlogging, no crop, different lens options, flip out screen. It's really just kind of perfect for vlogging and has nice buttons for beginners. And it's a video-centric, vlog-centric camera. Then you have the ZV-1, which really its biggest selling point at this point in time would be pocketability. You can put that thing in your pocket. It's a 1-inch sensor, so it's just overall a smaller, lighter camera, and you don't have to worry about getting lenses because you can't. It is a fixed lens and you have what you have. So then we have the Sony a6100, which is the same price as the ZV-1, at least on B&H's website, at 750 bucks. That is without the kit lens, though it is $850 with the kit lens. It goes on sale, but hey, that is the price right here. So it's more expensive than both of those cameras with the kit lens, but it is more photography centered. It's also great for video, but it has an electronic viewfinder for photography, which is great. And then it is a flip up screen. So it's a different style body than the ZV series of cameras, but I prefer this screen, but it is definitely a individual preference. Okay, and then next is a step up, the Sony a6400, which is $898 without a lens, and that camera gives you log features. So that is kind of a step up. If you want to do music videos or something like that, the 6400 would be kind of my recommendation for that. The 6400 also has a better viewfinder than the a6100, which I think is a forgotten about fact. And then last but not least is the Sony a6600, which is considered Sony's flagship APS-C camera. It's the most expensive. It has all the bells and whistles, and its main differences from the 6400 is that it has a bigger battery. It has the battery that the Sony a7 III full frame camera uses, so battery life is much better than all of the other cameras listed, and it has a bigger battery grip, or a bigger grip, because said battery is inside there. So that's a price overview and kind of just a bullet point of each camera between the two now ZV series of cameras and then the 61, 64, and 6600. It all really depends on your uses of which camera you want. I think it's really cool that Sony is making a ZV-E10. At first I was like, I don't really see a point, but now after watching some other YouTubers' videos, which I will link down below, check out Gerald on Dunn's video. He does a vlogging kind of example. And then also check out Sarah Dietschy's video on her camera. She got the white version, which I think is pretty snazzy looking. But yeah, I'm actually surprised with my own thoughts on this camera. You know, Sony has a ton of different cameras and it could get confusing. Actually, it is confusing, I think, for new buyers and things like that. But I must say, I think this is the best vlogging camera in the APS-C world. I know some people would prefer the ZV-1 because you can just put it right in your pocket and go. And if that's your thing, that's great. But if I were to get a vlogging camera, like specifically for vlogs, I would probably get the ZV-E10 just because the ease of use, the features, and I would like to use other lenses. I wouldn't want to just be tied to one lens forever. Okay guys, so that's just a quick video. I wanted to put something out when this camera came out. Let me know your thoughts on this camera. Is it something that you're interested in? Do you think it's very close to the A6100, and would you rather go with the ZV-E10 over the 6100? I'm very interested to everybody's thoughts. And you know, if you're hoping for like a new photography centered camera, that's gonna come later down the line. Sony's got great offerings right now, so hopefully one of them fits for you. Thank you guys so much for watching this fun little video. And as always guys, I will see you in the next episode. Later.